Tim Blair from the Daily Telegraph joins me now. He'd be a massive fan of fireworks. G'day, Tim.
Absolutely, mate. And I remember the Catherine Wheels. I remember the sky rocket attacks. I remember being cornered once. You know, I was growing up in Werribee in western suburbs of Melbourne. The lights went out. There was an electricity outage. And that's when all the fireworks came out. People had stored them for just that opportunity.
I must confess, and I presume that the woman whose letterbox I blew up, Tim, is no longer with us, but those big threepenny bungers, if you wired a few of the wicks together, I think it was Mrs. Jones down around the corner, I stuck it in the letterbox. That was very bad of me. Talking about something pretty bad, I tried to watch Warnie, the biopic that his previous employer aired Sunday night and Monday night. But I couldn't go back to it Monday, and I really couldn't finish it Sunday night. What's your view of it?
I watched it for the cliche count. Like most celebrity autobiographic sort of movies, or especially ones involving sporting stars, there's a list of things which you can expect. Number one, and it got out of the way pretty early, I think, was the shot from the perspective of the individual, of all people taking photographs of him. He's surrounded by the media, holding microphones out to him and so on. That is an absolute standard across all celebrity biopics. This one, though, had something... There you go. There's your shot right now. Yeah, perfect. But this Warnie thing also had in it the bizarre and, I mean, to its credit, unique aspect of Warnie himself speaking from beyond the grave and basically being his own narrator, which I can only imagine from the family's point of view was more than slightly distressing. But as a viewer, it just raised so many questions. If Warnie is able to communicate with us from beyond the grave, why aren't we interviewing him? Seriously, it was the most perverse and bizarre bit of television that we're going to see in years.
Yeah, it does sound very strange. I know Simone. I once appeared on you'll love this, a celebrity cooking show with Simone Warne, and I've got to say I was a better cook than Simone. But she, no. She told the Herald Sun it was unkind and mean-spirited. Entertainment reporter Peter Ford said Shane's dad and brother were also put off. Have a listen.
They were very disappointed by what they'd seen. Now, they're not angry. Keith's certainly not angry. He's a very astute man. He understands that this is a piece of entertainment. It's not a documentary. But he felt there were some things done that they reflected badly on Shane. But the bigger issue, he felt, was you don't see any growth in Shane as a man.
I think it would have been particularly hard, Tim, for his children to watch it.
Absolutely. And also just give it a few more years, not just for the sake, which is very important, obviously, for the sensitivity of the family, but let the story gel a bit more. Let some people come up with some storylines that actually do reflect, as you've just said, that growth in Warne as an individual that we saw during his life. We certainly witnessed it. And anyone who ever listened to him in the last few years of his life as a commentator would have known the intellect that he brought to the sport and to a lot of aspects of his life. That would have been a much more enchanting, I think, enduring way to recall his memory than something that was obviously slapped together in a couple of weekends over a few cans of beer.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It was too soon. I mean, who knows how long we would need to have waited, but it could have been better, much better done. I want to show you this billboard that I saw this morning in Melbourne. I was standing outside a 7-Eleven waiting for someone who was kindly giving blood across the road at the blood bank. Now, this sign here, it says, help stop bushfires, invest in cultural fire credits. Now, you're a very smart man, Tim. What the hell does that mean?
Oh, there was a time not so long ago, mate, like actually within living memory, certainly with my family, when white fellas would engage in cultural burning. It was called backburning back in the day, and it followed the Aboriginal practice of burning excess forest, excess fuel, if you like, to use the modern phrase, excess fuel, in order to eliminate the risk or reduce the risk of wildfire. My own grandfather used to burn heaps of land in the Wimmera Valley for exactly that reason, to minimise the risk of wildfire. And that, you know, as I said, followed Aboriginal practice. I once asked my mother if my grandfather ever sought the permission of the fire chief for this practice, and I was informed that he was, in fact, the fire chief.
Of course he was. I mean, yes, the backburning's done by the RFS, the CFA, but I thought that you bought carbon credits to stop emissions. If you're setting fires, aren't you adding to the emissions? I don't quite get that.
What you don't get, mate, is the word cultural in there. Like, it's a whole different deal. All the rules change, as I'm sure you're aware. Once you attach a sort of a cultural or an Aboriginal aspect of things, the rules are a bit different. So I'd say, in this case, I'm voting yes for backburning and probably no to most of the rest of that crap.